This brief video will show you how easy it is to duplicate missing furniture hardware. Step 1. Assemble your materials. You'll need a 1 pint kit of MoldRite 25 and a pint kit of AquaClear resin, along with brass powder, mixing cups, and a mixing stick. You'll also need a hot glue gun and a gram scale to weigh out the MoldRite 25 silicone rubber. Step 2. We placed a small dab of hot glue on the bottom of our part. In Step 3, the knob was secured to the bottom of the container with the hot glue. In Step 4, we measured out Part A of MoldRite 25 using the gram scale. We wanted enough material to cover our knob about a ½ inch higher than the highest point, since we were using the same container as our mold box to pour in Part A. It was a simple matter of filling the empty container to the same level mark that would equal 1/2 inch above the knob. Once filled to the correct level, we noted the weight. In Step 5, a separate cup was used to measure out Part B of MoldRite 25. Part B is 1/10 the weight of Part A. We almost forgot to account for the weight of the cup. By placing the empty cup on the scale and pressing the tar button, the scale automatically set it to 0, and the weight of the cup was then accounted for. We measure out 10 grams of Part A and 1 gram of Part B. In Step 6, once Part A and Part B are measured out, we combine the two parts and mix them thoroughly until there was an even blue color without any marbling. In Step 7, after mixing well, we poured the rubber into the mold container in a long, narrow stream. We poured in one spot, letting the rubber envelop the knob. This helps to drive out more air. Step 8. When the mold rubber set, we sliced open the mold with a razor or X-Acto knife. We cut the opposite sides about 2/3 of the way down. In Step 9, the mold was spread open as if it were a clamshell to remove the original part. Step 10, the mold was baked in the oven at about 150 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit to outgas any residual alcohol remaining in the mold. And Step 11, to create the brass casting, we needed a 325 mesh brass powder and AquaClear resin, along with some cups and mixing sticks. In Step 12, we measured out equal parts of Part A and Part B of AquaClear resin in 2 cups. In Step 13, we spooned out the brass powder into a 3rd cup to the same level we measured for Parts A and Part B of the AquaClear resin. Step 14, we added half the brass powder to Part A and the balance to Part B, and each stirred very well. Step 15, Part A and Part B were combined in a separate cup and thoroughly mixed before they were poured into the mold. In Step 16, once the cast was set, we removed the cast knob and polished it with O steel wool to expose the brass surface. With a little elbow grease and some O steel wool, polish the knob to remove the resin and expose the brass. You can also use a buffing wheel for even shinier results. The finished product is an identical looking copy of the original brass knob. It's very difficult to distinguish it from the original, with one exception. The original had a darker patina from age. But after a little time, oxidation will remove any such differences. And you can actually hasten the process by adding some black shoe polish and buffing the surface. The results are so spectacular that you may decide to replace all of your kitchen cabinet hardware with these 19th century brass reproductions. For more information on materials and techniques, you will certainly enjoy reading ArtMolds Journal Magazine, the Artist Magazine, available bi-monthly in both digital and print editions. Subscribe today and receive a half-year discount.